Good morning, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. How's everyone doing? I hope everyone had a lovely holiday weekend. You could probably hear it in my voice, but I am exhausted. I just can't snap out of it. Anyway, sorry I haven't been recording for a few days. I'm actually anchoring a 3D space. I got access to such a beautiful space in Cheshire, Connecticut. So if you're ever here and you want to do an in-person session or you want to come to one of my events, you can absolutely do that. The place is called the Reading Room and it's in Cheshire, Connecticut. Okay, so that's been taking so much of my energy and lots of manual labor. All right, let's see where we go today. I think I'm just going to do a daily check-in. It's been a while since I've done one of these, so let's just see where we go. Okay, Spirit, what is the collective working with today? What are we confronting? What are we working with? Okay, we have surrender. We have patience. I mean, hey, patience is in the upright, but notice all of this first and second chakra. We have perseverance in reverse. Yeah, surrender and perseverance in reverse are giving me the same energy of sort of this kind of impatience, this fighting back, this attachment, this wanting to control everything. And yet patience is winning. What is this? Let's see. Spiritual career. Wow. Okay. So I really shuffled. I mean, you heard me shuffle on camera. I really shuffled these cards and these are echoing, I think, the last twin flame reading I've done. Effort in reverse. All right. Okay. Sorry, these are all going to fall and that's going to annoy me. There's no rhyme or reason here. Why aren't these working? Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Notice how all of these other cards are in reverse and patience is upright. Let's see what's in the unconscious. Yeah, creativity in reverse. Okay, let me just feel into this for a moment. Okay, two separate messages here. One, that it may not be a time of effort. This may be a time of rest, of doing what you have to do to call your spirit back to your present moment. This is a time of patience. This is a time of calling your focus back to the present moment, like I already just said, but it's not a time of taking action steps towards whatever you feel your spiritual gifts are. This is a really bizarre message since at least the last 7 months I've been on YouTube. We've been getting messages that all of our gifts are starting to ramp up. All of the clair gifts, the claircognizance, clairsentience, clairaudience, all the other ones as well. So this is really interesting. Let's see where else we go. Let's see. Just because this is a time of non-action. So what, sorry, my brain's really choppy after the holiday weekend. I'm just tired, so forgive me. But yeah, what helps you or what helps us stay patient? I think one of the best things to occupy our time is to kind of distract ourselves with something that feeds our soul, something that feels really good, maybe a really lovely hobby or spending time with friends or family, praying, meditating, going for nice long walks in nature. Yeah, this is interesting actually. I'm just curious what's coming down. If for so long we've had this message of, okay, your soul is getting back on track. Your gifts are coming, and now it's saying to pause. So I wonder what skills we're working on in the process. Okay. It's starting to take shape. And then what is in the unconscious position? Yeah, building blocks. I mean, come on. This is an echoing message of the first message. So this is not a time of building, or this is a time of confronting whatever skills you think you don't have to build this firm foundation, right? So for those of you who haven't watched me for a while or are new, the card in the bottom of the deck for me, just for me, is the card I take as what is being pushed into the shadows, what is in the unconscious position here. So what's being pushed into the shadows right now are, it says building blocks. So maybe that's your relationship with the parts of self that are required to build something. Maybe you don't think you can build something. Maybe you don't think you could build something that's in alignment with your spiritual gifts or with your spiritual calling. Maybe, you don't think you have what it takes. You don't have the perseverance or the, aptitude to be able to, bring this mission or creation over the finish line. And it's just not true. It's just not true. So let's see what we have here. We have never ending story. We have chaos and conflict. It's like my mouth is not awake. Wait, hold on. Let me get my tea. Okay. This is my tea. Welcome. It's not really tea. It's just lemon water. Okay. Okay, never-ending story, chaos and conflict, truth be told, and serendipity. It's when I keep getting the same cards over and over again from the same deck, I'm like, am I supposed to change the deck? But no, we're just still here. We're still in this moment. We're still confronting these old wounds. We have this never-ending story here. This card is always interesting because every time I look at it, I see something else. Let me see if I can focus. Okay. So as some of you know, anytime I use this deck and I see this garland of flags, so for this signifies an ending of a race or a beginning of a race, right? And didn't I mention the finish line? Oh, and look at this. We have one here and we have another one here. Okay, so we're working on endings and beginnings. We're working on creation and destruction. We're right smack dab center in the middle of death and rebirth cycles. I know it came flying out of my mouth, but that's a dense place to be. Yeah, I mean, the messages are always, I feel like you've heard, feels like a deja vu a little bit, but the message is always, can you call your spirit back from places it doesn't belong? What does that mean? You've heard me say that a million times, but what does it actually look like? When I say call your spirit back, I'm saying, can you call your attention back, right? If you find yourself that you're stuck in, a never-ending story, a rumination, and notice here, there's a heart that almost looks like a spinny wheel thing. And it says, yes, no, love me, something. It reminds me of a little kid pulling petals, like, does he love me? Does he love me not? Or whatever that whole thing is. I don't know if you did that as a kid, but I saw it in cartoons and loved to do it. I thought it was so cool. But yeah, notice she's sitting on an hourglass. So there's something here about let us honor the passing of time. And sometimes that could be really hard for us to hold, especially if we've been sitting with a narrative or a worry or a fear for years, maybe even decades. So let's call upon a profound amount of grace. Let us offer ourselves and other grace in this journey, right? It can feel like, especially if you're walking a twin flame path, I think those who identify as twin flames have been treading water for a very long time. It can feel really, you can feel tired, right? You can feel exhausted in this arduous kind of journey. But have hope, because we're coming into a discernment piece. Okay, so I was just having a conversation with a very angelic friend of mine. She's just amazing. She has access to all these other realms. And anyway, we were talking a lot about how, I know everyone says like the veil has dropped, but it really has. I know that's, you've heard that many times, but okay, let me say it a different way. We cannot avoid the truth any longer. It's like the truth, our soul's recognition of truth is so dialed up right now. We can't avoid it. So if you've been kind of avoiding something in your friendships, in your relationships, in your career, if you've been in a career that was insulting for your soul, or maybe insulting's not the right word, but I left a career that just, I was suffering and there was no reason for it. And I stayed in it for so long because of my fear. I thought I just wasn't good enough. I wasn't worthy enough to actually do something that felt like, I thought it was frivolous for me to do this on YouTube, to coach, to be a spiritual guide. I thought it was frivolous. And that's such a weird thing to say, right? It's like we spend all our lives trying to find or trying to really become our soul purpose. Sorry, I have to fix my table. I feel like it's wobbly. Okay. It's so crazy that I would think helping people is frivolous. Like, are you kidding me? And that's just where my head was at. I was so deeply stuck in my own fear and limitation and projection of what I thought what could be or what it was going to be, that I didn't keep a space open for the mystery to gift me with something, to gift me with an opportunity. And let me tell you, I have more opportunities than I know what to do with right now. It's a very weird thing. I was just saying this to another friend, that I'm in this weird place where I could literally do anything. And while that might be total bliss and freedom to some, for me, it's another form of chaos. You could literally do anything. There's an infinite number of possibilities, and I'm choosing none of them. I'm choosing to offer it up to source and say, put me where you want me. Where do you want me? What's the work? I mean, I could do a lot of different healing modalities, and I'm not choosing. I just feel like it's not for me to choose. And so the moment I did that, I have all these interesting requests of different events, and people are coming to me with specific ailments. Oh, wait, ailments is not the right word. Let me say this: spiritual ailments of the energetic persuasion, if you will. Okay, let's get back to the message. I'll stop talking. Let me take a sip of my lemon water. Okay. What else do we have? Okay, so yeah, I mean, to continue on the same path. So all of this truth, that's what I was saying. It's like, okay, beautiful, beautiful people. It's like you woke up one day and all of a sudden you can see all of your own truth and all of the truth of others. Can you see this card right here? It's literally like everybody's masks are off. It's like everyone is in their most raw, pure state. And this is for better or for worse, right? If you're around a lot of like shallow, manipulative, not so nice people, you see them for who and what they are. If you're around people that have a lot of power and gifts but have been hiding them, all of a sudden you just see their soul shining. It's unavoidable right now. Truth is unavoidable. I think that's why we're seeing so much chaos politically, so much chaos in the world. There's all these things that are because what happens when you see the truth? You have to respond, right? We're being called to respond and to choose a higher path. And a lot of that means dismantling things, dismantling our personal lives, our jobs, our careers, infrastructure that's no longer supporting society and the culture, like all these things. And that's a lot of chaos, right? That brings a lot of chaos. So our jobs are to step into the most pure and pristine truth that we can live in, right? We can only control ourselves. You've heard many people say that. So how can you step into even a deeper, more pristine, resonant truth in your own heart, in your own life? It's funny. I didn't even read this card really. as I was talking, but it was moving through me already. We have the serendipity card. There's something about like trusting in your energetic assessment of what's going on. If you've been with me for a while, you know that part of my mission here is to lead you back to self. Part of my mission is to lead you back and help you recognize your own power, your own sovereignty, your own ability to make decisions for yourself, empowering you to embrace that no one knows better than you about you, right? I mean, there's caveats to that, but whatever, we're not going to go into all that. But you have been entrusted with this life. You have been entrusted with this kind of divine life force that you get to wield to, use your free will in a way that feels good for you, right? And I think that's been beaten out of us so aggressively in our society. I mean, I'll speak for American culture. I think our connection to the divine, our connection to the earth, to Mother Nature, to Mother Gaia, whatever you want to call it, it's been severed so violently that it also severed the kind of internal connection we have with our own inner nature. And so what we're doing kind of on this spiritual path is just remembering. We're just remembering our power. We're remembering our connection to all that is, because when you are really in that flow state, you really feel love. When you witness nature, if you just like sit down in the woods and just witness nature, you just feel that energy that something that loved us created this, or something, all these things, these, the deer, the trees, the birds, they were created out of love, out of some sort of curiosity, some sort of excitement, some sort of combustion that all of a sudden birthed all of this life. What a beautiful little message there. Okay. Oh, interesting. I had one card of this deck left in my box. I'm just going to take it because I feel like it was meant to be. Yeah, we have this To Be Fair card, another card of endings and beginnings, and also justice, right? I don't know if you could see, but there's a owl on her head. It's quite literally like, owls usually symbolize for me wisdom. So it's literally sitting on her crown. So there's something here about balancing out your internal landscape so that you can receive this higher wisdom, right? This crown chakra information coming through. God, almost every card but one has this garland of flags or flags. Yeah, I mean, I'll just ask the question, because for some of you, it might be this obvious, but what has to come to an end in your life? What has to come to an end in your life so a new beginning can take place? Is it ending a job, ending a relationship, leaving a home for a more aligned home? I don't know why I'm being called to talk about this, and Carolyn Mace used to talk about this a lot. Places have energy. There's different ley lines of the earth, and there's different energy centers. Like some believe that there's a chakra system of the planet, and they've actually mapped it. They've mapped these different ley lines, these different energy centers. And wait, why am I telling you? Oh, just to say that places hold energy. So if you feel like crap and you have exhausted all other possibilities, it might be your space. It might be your home. It might be your apartment or other people in your apartment. It might be the land. Research the land of where you live. Sometimes if atrocious things have happened on your land, you could feel that there's that pain, that dense energy that's left over. So yeah, you could do a couple things. You could work on clearing the energy, absolutely. And I usually vote for that because moving every time you feel bad energy is probably not the most realistic thing. But yeah, before I even moved into my new place, I prayed over the property. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I don't know why. Oh, that was interesting. If I I prayed for everybody that has ever passed through these doors. I prayed for the people whose land it was way long before we got here. Yeah, I just prayed and prayed and prayed. I did clearings. I did all these different things. And it's so funny when people walk into my apartment, people are like, oh my God, why is the energy so good in here? It's so clean and clear. And I mean, granted, I also have a ton of plants because I'm a firm believer of clean air. And so I have like a million really big plants. Yeah, I like to like live in a forest or in a jungle in my own apartment. But yeah, there's something here about really, you know, if you're someone that has exhausted all of your options for healing, for shifting the energy or something, you know, it might be time to think outside the box. You never know what can be contributing to the energy, because sometimes also if there's unfinished business with something, and I'm not talking about spirits, even though that absolutely can be a thing. I'm just talking about if there was pain on your land and it was like not an honorable closing of the energy or honoring of the people, that could be like an open gaping energetic wound. So you could feel all that, like that bleeding of that energy. So yeah, you could take total responsibility and accountability and seed your planet, seed your part of the planet. And this doesn't matter. I don't care if you live in a box. I don't care if you live in a home. I don't care if we're, you know, to share a place with a bunch of roommates, whatever it is, you can absolutely take responsibility for that energy and do something about it. Okay, where do we go next? Let's see. Anything else for the collective spirit? Anything else? What does that say? Adventure in reverse. Yeah, I mean, we're getting repeating messages now. This is not a time of taking action, right? The adventures are on hold right now. The other message here is, I don't know if you could see, wait, is it on camera? I don't know if you can see this vortex here. And this kind of like portal looking thing. The other thing is that you're meant to take an inward adventure right now, right? This isn't about traveling. This isn't about going out and hiking or, you know, doing some crazy task. This is about going on an adventure inward to learn a little bit more and nurture your internal landscape. Okay, we have conflicting messages, Spirit. Can you just give me more information, please? I'll think out loud just so you know what's going on. So we have all these cards of non-action, and then we have step back in reverse. So my first initial reaction was, okay, step back is in reverse, then it's asking you to take a step forward, right? But there's more to this. Hold on, let me just feel it for a second. Okay, I got it. So there's a message here for some of you that as you are being invited to take this inner adventure, to maybe explore your consciousness. This could look like a million different things. This could be like healing childhood stuff. This could be like going back, healing your patterns of relationships, healing different types of internal wounds. Wait, I'm just losing it. Hold on. Oh, yes. Okay. So I think this is calling us to, you know, review our lives a little bit, review what has worked in the past and what hasn't worked, review our patterns of relating. You know, another big thing that's happening on the planet is with all of this truth. Wait, where's my truth be told card? Yeah, let's leave this on top. With all of this truth out in the wide open, we also, it's like the curtain has dropped that was blocking our own awareness around our own behaviors and thoughts and actions. And so we may be seeing ourselves incredibly clearly. I mean, look at this card with this eyeball and this kind of crystal ball, or intuition. I just feel like intuition is not even a thing right now because there's so much truth in the room. You know, something my friend and I always say, we say, is all my truth in the room? We ask each other that all the time. And it's kind of just a little checkpoint, a little self-accountability, right? Am I bringing everything that I want to bring into this room to feel at ease, to feel comfortable, to feel safe? We want to, bring everything that we are in the room so that we're not limiting anything. We're not blocking our throat chakras. We're really taking that radical accountability. And sometimes it's really hard because sometimes you're bringing your truth in the room to someone that cannot hold it. And, that's something that we have to then self-parent. We have to parent ourselves to that, because whether they can hold it or not, sometimes we have to choose what we need for safety over what makes someone else feel comfortable. And if you were if you are a recovering people pleaser like myself, sometimes that could feel really difficult and challenging. Okay, so what was I saying before? Yeah, I think we're being called to take a step back in time through our lives. There's something here about, remember, the building blocks were in the unconscious in the beginning. So there's something here of like, oh, I'm getting a totally different message now. Okay, so another way to read this card is, so when you think of building blocks, for me, I think of a foundation, right? We can't stack these blocks on one another without a strong foundation. It's not going to work. So, crap, I can't believe I missed this message, but it all arrives in divine timing. I don't think I was supposed to say this until now, but this is a really big message. So, what are you pushing into the shadows from childhood? There it is. I mean, there's something very large here that is being, whatever, I got to go back to the Jung quote around, the cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. There's something about you going back and sifting through, the building blocks of your childhood, whether you had them or you didn't have them. Maybe some of you didn't have appropriate building blocks. Maybe it was you didn't even have a firm foundation. And that's real. That's, if we're trying to move through our adult lives to build our lives, to build a strong structure, so that we can, live a beautiful life or a life in alignment with our souls, and we don't have a firm foundation, yeah, it's very possible that everything we built may come crumbling down. So this is a lot of like confronting of the ego. This is a lot of how, here, let me ask you this question. How much love are you willing to bring into the darkness, into the shadows, into the unconscious? Because that love is going to be, it's like the gas in your gas tank. You know what I mean? It's going to allow you to go deeper and further into this understanding than anything else. Yeah, this is interesting. In this unconscious, we have new beginnings. Wow, I've never had, we have like 4 cards saying the same exact thing. Let's see how much time. Okay, let's get some of these goddess cards just for fun. Is there anything else, Spirit, you want to mention to the collective? Yeah, okay, I gotcha, Spirit. So we have worthiness in reverse. We have liberation, and we have grounding in reverse. In the unconscious, we have these etheric cords. Okay, this is a messy reading, but I don't care because I like it. Okay, so another piece of taking this radical accountability to bring this ruthless, unconditional love. Unconditional love is ruthless. You could bring anything to the table of unconditional love and you are still loved. It doesn't matter what it is. However, there's some cord that you're still attached to that's keeping you blocked in some way. Do you have any cords attached to any person, people, places, or things, or memories of your own actions, memories of where, I don't know, maybe people treated you less than worthy? There's something here about worthiness, and you're being called to fill your own cup. I don't know if you could see this, but let me see if I can focus the camera. I don't know if this is like a cultural thing, or these things look like little circuses. I'm not sure exactly what those are, but and then there's these two vessels and they're filling all of these what look like teacups here. Okay, what a cool message I'm getting. I'm getting a message of, yes, do what you can to fill your own vessel and also to clear your own vessel, but also know that while you're working diligently to fill your own cup, so is spirit. So even if there's days where you feel like you can't do anything to kind of feel worthy, know that spirit and source are constantly filling your cup, are constantly trying to send you reminders of your worthiness. This is your path to liberation, right? This is your path to true freedom, is to love yourself enough to receive the love that, I'm going to just say God, that God has for us, and to live that way out in the world. I think most of us have met people that have been so profoundly loved. When you just meet someone, you're like, wow, they have been really loved in their life. And you could feel it because they're so generous of spirit. They're so generous with their love because they just feel they're so abundant, right? They know that their self-love and their own worthiness will not run out. They've tapped into this like infinite wellspring of self-love, love of other, and they're so generous. They give it away freely. And for someone that maybe hasn't received that love, it can feel really overwhelming. Like how do they do that? It looks so easy. They make it look so easy, So yeah, we're meant to go on this path of self-love right now and worthiness, and it's understandable that let me say it like this, we all come into this world infinitely worthy. It's only the things we confront in this world that plant these seeds of doubt that we are not worthy. And so I have a hunch that as you go through the building blocks of your life, of your childhood, of your adolescence, of your adulthood, you might find these moments and these circumstances that planted the seed of doubt in your worthiness, in your self-love, in your self-esteem. And your job is to extract those memories, understand them, shroud them in grace and love, and release them. Cut the cord, right? Because it's just not true. And this is a good blanket statement. If there's anything that, if there's any person, place, or thing that makes you feel unworthy, those people are usually in profound suffering. And you could just know immediately that if someone's attacking you in some sort of way, that they are suffering, right? And know that that's an illusion. That's an illusion, right? Okay, let's end on a Buddha wisdom. Anything else, Spirit? Okay. We have, be the embodiment of peace and serve humanity. You are a bodhisattva. Beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. I'm sending you so much love, and I will see you in the next one.